Hi, I'm Sammy Murrian and I write about film and television for Parade magazine. Beatriz at Dinner is a comedy drama. This is written by Mike White and directed by Miguel Arteta. And this is a movie about a dinner party from hell. This stars Selma Hayek as Beatriz, a very soft-spoken, mild-mannered healer and massage therapist. One of her clients, a very spoiled, very wealthy Southern California housewife, played by Connie Britton, invites her to stay for dinner one night, and it's kind of like a business dinner with, the rich husband and all of his coworkers. One other guest at this dinner party is a hard-nosed, a-hole billionaire. These two people are absolute polar opposites, Beatriz and this billionaire, Doug Strutt, who is played by John Lithgow. And these two people clash. They are polar opposites. It is a clash of ideals, and the dinner party goes to shit. First thing in reviewing Beatriz at Dinner that we have to say is this movie is written by Mike White, who wrote an indie from several years back called Chuck and Buck, and he wrote a wonderful television show called Enlightened, among many other things. And the quality of the writing here is both wonderful and very unique. The comedic dialogue in this movie is unlike anything that you'll see in the movies right now. I actually, over the past couple weeks, have had amazing opportunities. I interviewed Mike White, I interviewed Miguel Arteta, I interviewed Connie Britton, and I interviewed John Lithgow. And the first thing that Miguel Arteta, Connie Britton, and John Lithgow all had to say was, wow, the writing. The writing that we were working with while we were making this movie. Wow. This kind of dialogue is just extraordinary. It reminds me of screwball comedies of the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. They were very funny. It was very smart jokes. So often jokes piled upon jokes, and sometimes you could read them more than one way. Like, they weren't just outwardly funny. It wasn't just goofy. Also, those movies, screwball comedies from that era, they were also socially relevant. They were very much about the Depression during that time period. This is a very, very funny movie. It's also a very unconventionally funny movie. There's no jokes in here. There's nothing silly in Beatriz at Dinner. It's just great writing that is funny because it's so smart and so truthful, and it's very biting. And you will definitely recognize these people. These are not stereotypes. They are very human. So the screenplay to this movie is just extraordinary. Start with that. The dialogue in particular is just, it's like rubbing your ears with velvet. When I was interviewing these actors and this director, I asked, on set, was there room for improvisation? You got great actors. So many great actors in this movie. You got Selma Hayek, you got Connie Britton, John Lithgow, Chloe Sevigny is in this, Jay Duplass is in this. You got great actors who can be very, very funny. I was curious, was there room for improvisation on set? Was there any improv going on? And the answer that I got from everyone was an unequivocal no. They knew that this screenplay was so great. They just wanted to do justice to what was on the page. I also love the way that Miguel Arteta directs actors. He clearly loves actors, and this film, the way that he directs them, it's very exploratory. He discovers things within scenes. He just lets these scenes play out and lets these great actors do their thing. Sinking their teeth with relish into this fabulous, fabulous dialogue that works on many levels. And these actors know that they're working with a great script. These actors are all also just amazing actors. Selma Hayek completely transforms herself in this film. I know you hear that a lot when you're hearing about performances by famous actors. There's no other way to describe it though. She completely transforms herself, her body, what we think of when we think Selma Hayek. Utterly, completely transforms herself. It's an incredible performance. It might be the best she's ever given. Need I remind you, Selma Hayek is the first Mexican actress in history to be nominated for an Academy Award. She was nominated for an Academy Award for Frida. She is just as extraordinary in this film. For my money, though, Connie Britton all but walks away with this movie. Connie Britton's a genius. It was so amazing to get to speak with her. She's brilliant. You know, she plays this character, this spoiled housewife, this spoiled Southern California wealthy housewife. And if there is a cartoony caricature that is in popular culture right now, it is the Real Housewife. It has become such a grating cliche at this point. We see it everywhere because of those damn reality shows. Connie Britton finds this woman's, you know, humanity. It's also the quality of the writing. The writing is just so smart. But you know, what could have, this character that could have been a cliche is just conflicted, and she's, you know, delusional. She's at times absolutely hilarious, and in the end she's just pretty tragic. All of these characters in this movie are in a certain amount of denial, and they're all a little bit delusional. They're also completely believable and utterly hilarious. This movie is extremely laugh out loud, gut-bustingly funny until it's not. I will say that. I said comedy drama for a reason. As I was first watching this movie, as it was first playing out before me, I didn't like the direction that it heads in about halfway through. This is not a feel-good movie. Nobody changes, and I don't want to ruin anything, but I will say no one changes in this movie. So if you're expecting, like, Beatriz and her warm heart to thaw out this, you know, fairly heartless John Lithgow character, although I will say that as I've said, everyone is brilliant in this movie. The John Lithgow character, he's not just like a villain. He's perfectly believable. And he's totally charming. He's this wealthy guy who loves his life, loves his wife, loves how much money he has. He's totally charming. I mean, there are parts in the movie where you're, you know, way more on his side than you are with Beatriz. And I know that certain people who watch this movie, you know, some people will watch this movie and they'll be completely with Beatriz the whole way. Some people will watch this movie and they'll totally be with this jerk billionaire who is also charming and seductive and kind of likable. I think a lot of people will not like the way that this movie ends, like the way that things play out towards the end. Just don't go into this movie expecting a feel-good movie. You know, upon reflection, I don't think there's any other way that this movie could have ended than the way that it does. And I think that going for a different ending would have come off as insincere and forced and fake. I think it would have betrayed the movie before it, to be honest. So just, you know, go into this movie with an open mind. Know that it is going to be, it is extremely funny and smart, and ultimately it's depressing and cathartic. This is a really good movie. I'm gonna give Beatriz at Dinner an 8 out of 10. Definitely see it. Definitely see this over that freaking Mummy movie this weekend. I'm gonna put links to my interviews with the cast and crew of this movie for Parade. I'm gonna put those links down in the comments. Only a couple of those interviews are out now. As those interviews become available, I'm going to put them in the comments. So please read my interviews with the brilliant people behind the making of this film. Please follow my writing on Parade. I spend most of my time these days writing. It's parade.com/member/Samuel Murrian. I'm updating it just about every day. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook. Thank you so much as always for your support. It means a great deal to me. If you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel. Take care of yourselves and be well, everybody. Bye!